welcome back to Tuckaway Pines. If you are new here and are first seeing this video, we took a little break for about probably a month and a half now because we recently lost a very important person in our family, so we had to take some time to kind of process, grieve, and kind of sort things out, because it's a big, drastic, and unexpected change in our lives. So there was a lot of changes that we had to go through, which is understandable, which is typical when someone very immediately passes. But anyway, so I am coming back to you guys. I figured it is time to start kind of bringing you guys back in and showing you a little bit of what we've been up to, and start kind of getting back into that routine again. Something that I really enjoy, and it was something that when I first started doing this, it was just to really show other people what we were doing. Not like it's the only way to do things, but what us, me and Corey and our family, we chose to leave the city of Milwaukee and move up to northern Wisconsin on 10 acres to start living off the land as best as we possibly could. And I wanted to kind of document and record our journey throughout. So granted, we did take this break, but it was much needed, and I appreciate everyone's kind words and everyone's patience and everyone's understanding for why we took our break. So thank you so much to everyone out there that had reached out and again said such really nice, kind words. I really appreciate it, and we all do. The whole family does. So thank you again. But anyways, so I'm taking just a little stroll here on the property just to kind of talk to you guys about everything, and also I want to kind of bring you guys up to speed as far as what's been going on here on the property since then. Not much because of the circumstances. It's been kind of hard to get out here, get in the garden, kind of maintain certain things. Not gonna lie, it's been kind of tough, a little depressing, but we're really pushing through it. We're all kind of trying to help each other and push through everything, and really get the things that need to get done because regardless of how things are, the world's still gonna turn, so. And like I said, everything in the grow station, the seedling start station, that was still going. Yeah, there was some moments where it was like, but we really did. We pushed through and kept everything, alive, and things are making their way out here. And I'll definitely kind of show you where we're at right now. It's not, I don't know. It's still, it's still a progress. We're in that transition period. Some things are in the ground, some things are still in their trays, and there are a couple miscellaneous things inside. So, but as far as that goes, we've been just trying to keep up on the yard, starting to bring out certain yard decorations. We brought out all the hummingbird feeders. I know I posted a video on TikTok of a little hummingbird friend that made a little stop at one of our feeders. So, go check that out. It's kind of cute. Might brighten up your day a little bit. Sure brightened up mine. And these mosquitoes are ruthless. That's another thing with the weather. The weather has kind of been a big factor on a lot of this too. I mean, granted, under the circumstances, but it's been really rainy spring, rainy first beginning of the summer so far, and which is the complete opposite of what it was last year. It was very dry last year. We were actually in a drought. So I guess this year we're making up for it, but it's been very hard to get out into the garden, practically trying to work between the raindrops and all that. And so yeah, things are kind of, I guess, delayed a little bit because of that as well. So that really doesn't help much. But we recently did manage to order, well, last year, I might have mentioned it in a previous video, last year we ordered a number of apple trees, and we did end up getting those this year. Corey and I did end up planting them, and I'll kind of show you that area too. Kind of started our own little orchard. Because the first year we moved in, and I do have another video on that, we bought 2 apple trees from a local orchard, and one of them did not make it. Here's the one that did actually. I happened to be walking by it. This is our Wolf River apple tree. It is looking fantastic. It's growing really nice, full, beautiful leaves. This is year 2 with this guy. But then, yeah, we got 6 more trees. And we planted most of them up at the front here. We kind of started our own little orchard. And we ended up planting one within the property as well. So that way things were kind of spread out and, you know, kind of the start of our tree diversification a little bit. Because I know I've mentioned numerous times we've wanted to, because you can see we're surrounded by pine trees, and especially one specific type of pine tree, balsam firs primarily. So we wanted to kind of add different types of trees. And I know it might take forever and a half for them to grow, but at least it's a nice start to the property itself. And speaking of adding more trees, we also made kind of a spur decision. Well, it's something we wanted to do, but the opportunity kind of happened very unexpectedly. And we purchased like 100 trees, 2 different types of birch trees and a bunch of oak trees. And then we also ordered about 100 shrub type plants, some dogwoods, silky dogwoods to be more specific, and a bunch of sumac as well. So that's all going all over the property, and I mean all over the property. We got most of it planted. There's still a couple sumac, still a couple dogwoods that still need to get put in the ground, but all the trees are in. Everything is just all over the place, so it's kind of in the property, within the trees. Any good spot that we thought would be safe for them to grow. You know, we kind of went through, looked around everything. Obviously competition for roots. If there was anything dead standing nearby, we didn't plant anything near because there would be a potential of having it get crushed or something like that. So we really tried to do it as methodically as we could, despite the spontaneous circumstances. So, but I am actually coming up to the orchard. So I'm going to turn the camera around and kind of just show you a little bit about it. It's nothing too crazy. Again, everything is still new and fresh. And we did recently have to make some additions to the orchard too, and I'll explain that in a sec. Okay, so here's the start, I guess you could say, of our orchard. Here's one of our trees. Again, each tree is its own variety. But like I said, we recently had to make an addition. We noticed some trees actually were having some apple blossoms on them, which was kind of surprising and exciting. But then we came out the next day to see that they were chewed off. So we went out and got some of this fencing. I'm hoping that this kind of just is a good barrier to kind of prevent the deer from nibbling on things that they shouldn't be nibbling on. So, but we did also discuss that eventually, due to financial circumstances, we'll hopefully upgrade this to a metal fencing. So we'll see. Hopefully this does the trick, at least for the time being. But here is one of our trees. It is doing fantastic. I can say, like, I don't know, especially compared to the other tree that we got last year that didn't make it. So it's producing beautiful leaves. And then you can see we cleared out a lot of this area in order to have these trees here, because this was all just overgrown with red elderberry. This is kind of it here. I'm kind of walking through a little hallway of it. But it's all intermingled in these pine trees. And we took out a lot of the dead ones. There was a lot of dead standing pine trees. Obviously, we're keeping what's alive and trying to use the space that we have as much as we can. But here is another one doing very well. You can kind of see the tips of the branches were nibbled on a little bit. And that's what we're trying to avoid here. And I went ahead and mulched everything just to ensure that they got enough moisture, because when you plant trees, you want to make sure they get plenty of water for the first like few months at least, just so they can really establish themselves. And I also placed some tree wrap around the base just to help with any pests such as bugs, insects, maybe even rabbits too if they were to gnaw on that bark. But then we have a couple more. One's over here. And then if you notice this one's literally just a stick, but it's producing really nice leaves. So it's really exciting to see that this one's doing very well. And actually, I'm going to zoom in here and you could kind of see a little apple blossom coming in. So that's just super happy. I don't know if they'll really produce any apples, but it's just nice to see that they are doing that well. Here's another one here. It's got some little branches on it, but mostly like a stick, kind of like that other one. But all the leaves on it are doing fantastic. So, I don't know, must be doing something right, I hope. And then we actually have one more right over here. And this one's probably one of the more mature ones as far as this new bunch goes. A lot of nice branches. This was actually the one that got nibbled on. It had like 6 or 7 buds. You can see there's 2 more starting to come in, which that's really reassuring. So pretty. And but yeah, they got assaulted the other night by some deer because it had some pretty buds on it. But yeah, so we have a total, yeah, this fence keeps falling. I'm gonna have to try and figure something out for that. Like I said, it's a process. So yeah, like I said, we have 5 trees up here total, up in the front. This is actually kind of like right in the front of the property. It's kind of nice to be able to kind of keep our eyes on it and stuff like that and watch it grow. And then 5 up front, like I said, and then the more mature Wolf River is kind of on the side of the property, and then we did end up throwing one in the back of the property just to see for funsies if it will take, and also if maybe over time it will produce and maybe draw, you know, wildlife in. So this is kind of one of the things that we've been up to. I would show you all the trees we planted besides the apple trees, like the birch and the oak, but it's over 100 trees and they're scattered all over the property, and that would just be a whole nother video in itself. So I can show you a little cluster that we did happen to plant up front here, so I don't have to go trekking to show you. But a lot of them we did tag with just some orange ribbons, that way we know, oh yeah, there's a tree we planted there. But you can see right there, there's a good cluster. We threw some birch in here, you know, and again, it's going to take so long for this stuff to really like grow up into much of anything that, you know, it won't interfere with these pine trees, and these pine trees really shouldn't interfere with these as far as growth goes. Maybe the roots might have to kind of butt each other up a little bit, but as far as up here, it shouldn't be too much. And by the time these birch trees get to any sort of height, these pine trees will probably already be gone by then. So, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully not. We do like our pines to an extent. But yes, so that's as far as our trees go. I think I'll take you guys into the garden now just to kind of show you where we're at as far as that goes. Because yeah, we've been just kind of trying to get back in the rhythm of things before everything happened, and trying to sort our new normal, because it's definitely different now. So let's go to the garden. Alright, so here's the garden. I think the last time I showed you guys was when I was setting up these planters. So far so good. They're doing alright. Haven't really thrown too much in here. I've thrown some onions into the metal one. I actually planted some carrots and some parsnips. Carrots I think are starting to come up now. I actually have to plant some more. You know, I'm trying to do some succession planting. And in here I planted, you can kind of see my little domes. I planted chard in here originally in that little corner pocket, but the rabbits are ruthless on the property, let me tell you. It's been kind of like a real struggle this year with them. They're kind of intense, a little too intense for my liking right now. So I got some of these domes. I think I have one little baby chard that made it. Otherwise, just yesterday I planted some spinach in there. So those domes hopefully should keep them nice and safe. And over on this side behind me, you see these little white tags. I planted some bunching onions. I don't know, it's a little touch and go with the onions, especially the bulbs over there too, because I have bulbs over there and bunching over here. I don't know, we'll see how they go. It's just, even from the start, it wasn't like anything I don't think I did. No pests got to them or anything like that, so I don't know, there's a few strands in there, so hopefully they kind of take. And then I did end up planting peas right where these trellises are on both sides of my gate here. But then, like I said, the rabbits kind of went in and they didn't even eat them, they just severed them. So I'm kind of a little ticked, but it was early enough to where I could kind of start over again. So I got some peas in the basement. They actually should be coming out here in the next couple days or so to start hardening off. And that's why I got the domes and stuff. So hopefully that kind of helps, at least until they're mature enough and maybe bitter so the rabbits won't eat them. But so that's pretty much what's going on outside. Actually, no, I set up my green stock. I got a lot of herbs in here. Everything's pretty small, but I got like some parsley, rosemary, savory, marjoram. Let's see what else. Rosemary, I think I said that. I got some chives also from last year. They'll come back every year. They're pretty hardy, at least in my zone here. 4B. I think they've recently changed the zone, so I think I'm a 4A technically, but when we moved up here it was 4B. So, but anyway, that's up to further debate. And then I actually have a grow bag here of a Jerusalem artichoke. Meant to harvest it last year, didn't quite get to it, and I kind of just let it sit there and kind of do its thing, and it's actually sprouting back up again. So hopefully this year I get to it. Especially since this year I don't think, because of everything and the weather, I won't grow potatoes this year. It's kind of a hard thing to swallow for me that I won't be able to grow potatoes, because that was really exciting last year, especially with the grow bags. I do have a video out there about the grow bags and just how successful they are, so do check that out if you haven't seen it already. And yeah, so maybe there's still time in the season. We just actually reached our last average frost date, so maybe there's time. I've noticed local farmers just planted potatoes last week, so maybe if I hustle I can get something going, but I don't want to rush it, especially with everything else in there I have going on. And I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you what's going on. This is a new little planter box that I just added this season, so threw some marigolds and stuff. These were flowers that I started from seed, and I need to work on my flower thumb because my flowers don't really turn out that good when I plant them from seed, so we'll figure that out. You can see I am working on finishing mulching the garden. Last winter I put a video out on putting the garden to bed, and this is a big bed. So I did get about a third of it done before the winter, Especially when I'm chipping my own mulch and having to pull my own weeds and till my own stuff. It's just a lot of work on top of everything else I have to do on the house and, full-time job and all that fun stuff. So it took me a while to get to this point. And actually this year we did end up getting about this third to where it's at. Again, did a lot of weeding. There's some weeding I still have to kind of do in here, but it was really bad. It was like the backyard. You would have thought this is part of the yard. So definitely an improvement. And I noticed that back third that I did mulch prior to this season really held back the weeds significantly, especially because you could have an easy comparison of what was mulched and what wasn't. The weeds here with what wasn't mulched was, like I said, like the grass in the backyard. But then what was mulched was probably like what you see over here, just a sparse amount of weeds. So makes it really easy. And at least cut it back. And I know if I were to go a little thicker in some areas, that might even help as well. Because they say go about, 3 or 4 inches of mulch. And I'm lucky if I'm like at an inch in certain spots. Because I had to work with what I have, with the time that I have. So, and I just really wanted to get at least a base layer. Just to have it established, because it's not only the weeds that I'm trying to combat, but also the moisture and nutrients level in my garden. So I'd like to, kind of replenish that nutrients. I'd hate for the sun to soak it all up on me. But then also I'd hate to have to constantly water as much as I did last year, especially in our drought, without having some sort of mulch to kind of have some reserves for my plants. So that's my thinking behind it all. But this year, you can kind of notice I have some twine. That way I can work on my spacing better and my sections. So I obviously have my walkway here. And then basically where each post is, that's like a section. I call it a quadrant, but there's 6 of them. So I have like 6 quadrants, if you will. And then I have little lanes so I can kind of walk in between each quadrant. And then I really tried to map out where I wanted to plant certain things. And then granted, from just what's been going on and like certain plants that have survived and from inside to outside and certain plants didn't. So I've had to kind of rearrange what I'm gonna be, where things are gonna be planted. But anyway, instead of just having you stare at my mulch, I want to show you everything. Stop blabbing about that. Sorry. But again, I have some more domes here. These are cucumbers. I had 8 of them originally, but I think a squirrel came in here and took out 4 of them. So I hurried up, got some domes, and covered them up. Hopefully they kind of help keep them protected and alive. But yeah, so. And then I have a tray of tomato plants right here. These I just brought out today. I'm going to be hardening them off. And they're actually, I'm thinking of planting them in front of my cucumbers. The idea was to have the cucumbers kind of trellis up the fencing a little bit. And then have the tomato plants kind of vine and bush out in front here. Because last year there was so many tomato plants, it was very overcrowded. And then back here, like I said, you could see the sparse amount of weeds in here, but there is Calabrese broccoli planted, and then there are 2 spring rapini broccolis planted, and that's really what took for the spring planting. I do intend on doing a fall planting. Probably favor the Calabrese more. This year, I was actually surprised to get 2 of the spring rapini, because the previous year I definitely wasn't very successful with that variety. So, and then you can see my pepper plants. I have a variety of pepper plants. Most of them will probably go up front here in front of the broccoli. I do have some container friendly peppers. I might put those in containers, maybe put a couple of them in the garden beds, the black ones that I showed you guys over there. So we'll kind of see. Those might be spread about a little bit, but most of them, especially my bell peppers, will be right up in here. And then here I have some German chamomile hardening off. Here's some broadleaf sage. This actually I need to transplant here soon. It's looking pretty good. I have a couple different cantaloupes that are hardening off as well. And some watermelon over here too. So that'll be hopefully going in the ground here soon. And then here are a sad tray of flowers that I try to grow. But like I said, I need to kind of work on that to improve that a little bit. And then right here I just have my tray of pumpkins kind of just sitting out, hardening off. Not all of these will be put in here. Some of them will be put on the property. And then I think I'm going to try and have them grow out front running down the hill. So we'll see how that goes. Along with the cantaloupe and watermelon too. That's all not, I don't think will all fit in this garden. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I have a tray here of some marigolds and calendula. It's kind of looking sad. This is one of the trays that kind of took a hit during everything. There were moments of neglect just because of everything going on. So, but some of them did make it, and some of them are starting to produce a little bloom. So, gotta get these babies in the ground. Then here's some more flowers. 4 o'clock gazanias, some cosmos. Some of them did produce a little flower, so that's kind of neat. It's cute. And again, try to get those in the ground here soon. Over here, I have nothing planted. I do have to weed, but otherwise, I do envision my corn being planted here. I have a couple different varieties. I'm thinking of doing block style planting, so instead of like a variety in a row, I'll just do like a variety here, and then a variety, there, kind of block them out. But then that way they're still able to cross-pollinate and all that fun stuff. I do have half a tray of corn and then half a tray of sunflowers, just only because I had so many corn seeds and I'd hate to waste a whole tray. So threw in some sunflowers, and I'm not sure where those are going to go. Maybe I'll throw a couple in the garden for fun. I did have some last year, so that was kind of neat. And then over here, yesterday I planted basil in this cute little like mini green stalk. So, and I think it's going to sit really nicely just here in the pathway on the end. It'll just kind of be out of the way, but still be safe. So I think that'll do well very nicely. And then my little basil sign. And then over here, I do have cabbage, a couple different varieties. I have some red acre cabbage up front. It's the purple looking cabbage. I have some Copenhagen Market, and then I have some flat late Dutch going too. And this, I hope to, have this ready by summer, and then I can do a fall planting as well. So we'll see, but hopefully we can get there. And then here I planted some rutabagas and a couple types of turnips in here, so I'm hoping those will come up. Those were direct sow. I don't know, we'll see. My fingers are crossed. If not, I can always just kind of plant something else in place of that, just so I don't have wasted space. And then we move in over here. And then I just recently planted my beans. I got my trellises all up just so they're ready to get to work when the time's right. And then nothing else is planted in here yet, but stuff will get put here. And then again, we will eventually weed and finish mulching that. Nothing is planted where it isn't mulched, but the area that is, I have Brussels sprouts. I actually had better luck this year with the Brussels sprouts so far than I did last year. And then I have some cauliflower going back there. So, and again, for the cauliflower, I'd like to do a spring harvest, or like a summer harvest, and then a fall harvest. So we'll see if we can get there. But that is the garden. Pretty much, you know, we're starting off. Nothing too crazy. Haven't really hit full throttle yet on it, but it's getting there. And that's kind of as far as everything else too. We're getting there, you know. It's one day at a time, one step at a time, and again, the weather isn't helping either, so. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Appreciate everyone again, their patience and their sweet, kind words, and everyone for watching. Really, I really do appreciate that. So, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna wrap this video up, and please don't forget to like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on what we're going to be doing this summer. So, because I am going to be trying to get back on the saddle again and bring you guys along with the stuff happening around the homestead. So, alrighty. Thank you guys again. You guys have a great day. Thank you again for watching. Bye.